Tina, your story, I say story, it's your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that, which has been a court case and your stepfather has been jailed.
Yeah.
When did you make the decision to withdraw anonymity, and why did you make that decision?
The reason I decided to come public is because I know there's loads of women out there that are thinking about doing what I've done, haven't got the courage to do it, and I just felt if I could help one person to go forward and think I can, you know, do a statement, I can take this forward, then it's going to be worth doing. It's took me over 20 odd years to get to the point that I've got to now. And the reason being is because my stepfather gave my daughter an inappropriate cuddle, which then made me realise he still has got it in him to do that. So that's how it all started. And I feel that the reason I'm coming it forward is that it's about the justice system. You know, I got turned down, I appealed it through the right to review, then the CPS said yes, it can go forward, then it went to court, then it was a hung jury, and then we had to go to court again, and then he got found guilty. So I want people to know that it took a long time to get to where I got to, but if you persevere, the person that's done this to you and ruined your life.
That moment of that moment of the inappropriate cuddle. Can you remember that moment? And was that moment of sort of a crystallised moment? You thought, I have to break the cycle here.
Yeah, my daughter was 13 at the time, and she actually asked me, Mum, you know you had a bad childhood, what happened? And I was a bit like, well, why? And I said, well, what's happened? She said, well, Granddad gave me a cuddle and I didn't like it. So immediately I felt, what's he done? But luckily, that's all he had done, made her feel uncomfortable. And the relationship I've got with my daughter is quite open and honest, so she could come to me, but not a lot of children can do that. So I thought, you know, you've still got this in you, you're still going to do this to other kids or young adults. So I had no choice.
So that moment from that inappropriate cuddle conversation, what happened? You know, did you march straight down to a police station?
No. We'd left it for a little while, and I said to her, leave it with me, let me deal with this. And then she ended up with an eating disorder because the person that she trusted had let her down. So we had to deal with her eating disorder and everything, and I got more angry then because I thought, you've done this to her. And then I decided to come back to the South Essex Rape and Crisis Centre and ask if I could do my statement here. Because everything I've ever done with regards to this historical abuse has been here, because this is my safe place. And I can talk about it and feel that it's okay. So I did my statement here, and that's how it went.
And the period of time from giving your statement to being found, not mentioning the guy's name then,
you can mention Brian Fairchild, you can mention his name.
Yeah, the moment from giving your statement to Brian Fairchild being found guilty, how long period?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. It took a year to gather all the information. I'm not going to lie, my officer said that he didn't think it would go any further because it's historical, and historical abuse doesn't go further in some cases. But we persevered, and he was absolutely fantastic officer. You know, if every officer could be like that in a historical case, I think a lot more people would get found guilty. He was brilliant.
What were his qualities?
His qualities were, he believed me from the beginning. He took my statement and he was very sympathetic with regards to questions. He didn't just jump in. He made me feel comfortable with myself. Every step of the way, everything he did, he let me know. From questioning people, he'd ring me the day before, I'm going to question this person, that person, just let you know, or let you know what happening. Everything was brilliant. And then when it got turned down, he came to see me, and he was as shocked as I was that CPS had turned it down due to lack of evidence. And that took a year. So for a whole year, I've been gathering evidence and me sitting waiting, not being able to talk about it, because obviously Brian Fairchild hadn't been arrested, so I couldn't say anything to anybody. To then be told, no, it's not going any further, I just thought, where's the justice? There's no justice.
So CPS turned it down?
Yeah.
And you could have easily just turned to walk and you just said, hey, that's such as life, I need to move on. So but what happened next?
I was angry. I was like, I'm not doing this. I've taken, 4 years to, it took 4 years to get here, but it took that year of me persevering, finding out things that I knew that he'd done to other people, and I thought, no, I'm not having it. So I said to my officer, what do I do now? And one of my support workers from South Essex Crisis Centre told me about the right to review, which I'd never heard of. My officer knew about it, so I appealed, my officer appealed for me, and when you appeal with the right to review, it goes further up to the CPS, and then they have to look at it again, which they did, and that one of the persons that was looking at it said, why has this not gone to court? And they overturned the decision and then decided, yes, it could go to court. I wasn't going to back down.
Does that worry you slightly? Because there may be
Yes.
many other cases that simply somebody has said, no, not
That's worrying me.
You know,
This is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I know there's lots of women survivors that don't know about the right to review. This is one of the sole reasons I've done this, because I want them to think, actually, I'm going to do the right to review and I'm going to get justice. Because you feel worthless. When they turn around and say to you that it's going nowhere, you feel like nobody's believed you, you feel like you're something on the bottom of someone's shoe. Why have I gone through this for a whole year, to opening myself up for it to be turned down, and I wasn't having it.
How hard was that emotion? Use the term open yourself up.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. For all my life, I'm a closed book. I've told nobody about anything. I've kept everything to myself, and then all of a sudden, because he couldn't keep his hands to himself, gave my daughter an inappropriate cuddle. I had to put myself out there for her and myself, but mainly for her. I thought, I'm not having it. So I thought, well, I've got this far, so I'm going to carry it on, which is what I did.
How well prepared were you for court, emotionally?
Not really prepared. You can't be prepared. You can walk into that courtroom and think that you're prepared, but you're not. You stand in that box and you just feel like your whole life is there on display to 12 people that you don't know. So it's your word against his, and it's how they look at it. And all you can do is tell the truth.
Going back to the past, one of the most evocative images that you've spoken to with other media organisations is your wedding day.
Yeah.
Is that still quite a vivid image?
It is a vivid image. I've got past that he ruined my life part of my wedding day. But yeah, he thought it was his wedding day. Putting his arm around me, giving me a cuddle, telling me how beautiful I looked. It's not what a real dad does. I know my friends have got married and their dads have given them away. Their dad don't act in that manner. The first dance, telling my husband, oh, I'm going to dance with her, pushing him out of the way, basically. There's all these little scenarios going on that nobody else would probably have noticed, but I knew. So I knew what he was doing. So he was still manipulating me and controlling me as an adult.
Without getting into amateur psychiatrist here, do you think Brian Fairchild was a bad man, an evil man, or a sick man, or a combination of all three?
All three. Obviously, growing up, there was two sides to him. There was, the dad side, used to take me to places, pick me up from places, drop me and my friends off, living that pretense that everything's fine in a family. And then you've got the other side of him that was the abuser. And my whole life was abuse. Because he was a fireman, he did shift work, so if the shift work was in the week and he was off, my mum would be at work, my brother would be out. My abuse happened probably 4 days out of 7. Week in, week out. But it was part of life. So to me, it was like living a normal life. So you're two people, you go out, your friends, you who you think you are, and then you go home and you're this other person.
How low did you get as a teenager? How low did you get?
I can't say I got low, I just lived a pretense. I've lived a pretense all my life, apart from now when everything's been sorted out. I can now actually say I'm me. Whereas before I wasn't me. I was two people.
And your mother, was she part of the problem or part of the solution?
Problem. She's still with him. She still believes that he didn't do anything wrong. She still believes that I'm lying. She's got 4 children, she only sees one. Because he was my stepdad, she basically has told us that she wished she had none of us, because none of us were worthless, all of us. So as a mum, she doesn't deserve that title.
Lots of people, what's that all about? You know?
Manipulation. He's manipulated her. I feel that he's controlled her all their married life, and all she can see is him. He's done nothing wrong in her eyes. I'm the one that's in the wrong because I've exposed it all. So, you know, she doesn't want to believe the truth.
And the day, sorry if I'm dotting about here a bit, but the day of the hung jury, that must have been difficult.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was 8-4 to me, and both barristers and the judge said because of the way it went with the hung jury, it had to be a retrial. Just couldn't believe. I just thought, well, if this is what I've got to do, then I'll do it.
So you dusted yourself down and went back for a retrial?
Yeah.
And the retrial was a better result, obviously, but how was that again? Were you going back in the witness box?
It was more nerve-wracking the second time because I knew what I was doing. The first time you're sort of walking in blind and you're not sure which way, you know, where you've got to stand, what you've got to do. The second time you know exactly where you're going to stand, what questions they're going to ask, and all you can do is tell the truth and, you know, convince that jury that you are telling the truth.
Did Fairchild sit there impassively, as the journos say? Did he have any emotion at all?
No emotion whatsoever. The judge actually deemed him as a psychopath when he summed up and said that he was still dangerous. He showed no emotion. Even when the judge said that he got 14.5 years, his expression on his face was nothing.
Do you think you were the only one who was his victims, or do you think there are other victims?
I know there are other victims, but obviously that's down to them to sort out. I can't do that for them. But in a way, I've done it for all of us.
So how's life now? You know,
life's
how's
good.
life now? Tell me about your life now.
Life's good. Life's getting there. You know, I'm not saying that it's been easy. It feels a bit surreal that I've actually done this, that I've been brave enough to actually stand up and fight my corner and my daughter's corner and everybody else's corner, and getting convicted. And the way it's all gone about, you know, the right to review, the hung jury, the retrial, it can be done. This is the whole message, that it can be done. Don't ever give up. You know, the justice system will eventually help, but you've got to persevere and put your case forward.
People in South Essex are particularly lucky to have the South Essex Open Incest Crisis Centre here, aren't they? But maybe not every. So this is a not so hidden treasure that we have here. Not everybody may have such a so.
No.
These organisations, I hate to go into the world of politics, but we just had the Chancellor's statement yesterday, so we've got to really treasure these places and keep them flourishing, don't we?
We've had, where I've been here for the last 20 years, I know for a fact I wouldn't be here anymore. I would not have been able to survive what I've had to go through. The support I've had from this place, from South Essex Rape and Crisis Centre, is just second to none. It is a lifeline for women and children.
And another thing, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth here, but with the police, I know that certain people who inspect the police are sometimes concerned the level of expertise or lack of expertise due to cuts in certain parts of the police. So you would say, in this area of investigation, you need officers trained day in, day out, don't you?
Yeah, but I actually did a letter to Stephen Kavanagh, Chief Constable, saying how supportive my officer was, that all officers should have the training that he's had, and you know that I just want them to acknowledge the fact that he was superb. From the time he did the statement to coming to court with me, to supporting us as a family, he was fantastic, and I think all officers should be and have the same training that he's had.
You're proud of yourself?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am proud of myself, because I never thought I'd get to this point, ever. So, and I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for other victims and survivors as well. So I want them to know that you don't give up. That's it.
Tina, thank you very much for
your time.
Thank you.